This is an instructional video on how to replace the touchscreen on a Dragon Touch E71 phablet. See, that's what I have here, E71, and the screen is cracked. So there is no way to operate this tablet because the touchscreen is essential for this, and this one's broken. Okay, so first thing to do is take off this part, which is where if you have a SIM card or a memory expansion, that's in here. And you may know that you can just do that with your fingernails there. And I have a SIM card, and it's a good idea to take this out first because otherwise it'll be difficult to get out later on. So take that off and set it aside on some static-free surface. And now, since we took this piece off from here, you would think that down here it's the same type of thing, that you could take it off with your fingernails there, and there seems to be a seam along here, but it turns out that's not how you do it. But you still can do it with just your fingernails. No tools are needed. You just pry it open along this edge. And I accidentally turned it on, but you can see the power button and the volume buttons are on this side, and it would be difficult to get it past those if you start on this side. So start on this side, and you can just work your way around. There we go. Hold that open, work your way around on this edge. There we go. And a little more over here. There we go. And you can see it's open, and this part is completely separate. And the little buttons are right there. So of course you need to put those back in there before you put it back together. Anyway, we'll set this aside. You can see that I have a replacement screen. Here, I got this from China for about $10. And that matches, hopefully that. You can see where the camera looks through over here, matches up with that. And here's where it communicates. Oops, there we go. This part here is what we need to put right into there. So now I'm going to take this part off. I have a piece of tape here. Okay. And let's see what we need to do. This will come around to match that part there. Let's see if we can pull this thing out here. Okay, we're a little closer up for this next part here. This little strip here is being held in by this little black tab here on the back. So you can just actually tilt this up. There we go. You can see it's, I think you can see, yeah. So you just tilt it from here up that way, and then you can just pull this right out, no problem. As you can see from the replacement screen, there's just a bunch of adhesive on here that's what holds it in place. So it's not screwed on or anything. And I've seen some videos where they, on other tablets and cell phones, where they use a heat gun to loosen the old screen. But I think that I was able to get my fingernail under here, and so I think we can just pull this whole thing off. Yep, there it goes. This is going to take a while, so not to bore you with this on camera, I will just pause for a moment. Update, I'm making some progress, but I think the trick is to go slow. You don't want to pry it off too fast. But then again, you don't want to watch the whole thing, so let me pause again. Another update, making progress. Pulling. And it's going to take some more time. And I noticed taking this off, I have the window open, so it's nice and fresh in here, but there's a lot of fumes from here. Probably for safety reasons, I should say that you should do this in a well-ventilated area. Okay, the whole plastic part off. Now the hard glass is left. You can really see how I cracked it there. And this is a little more sticky. I'm going to try to get this off by carefully prying it up. But this actually might call for a heat gun. Let me try this out and see what I can determine. Okay, I'm pretty sure I can get this up without using a heat gun by just gently prying up along the edges. It seems to be coming loose. But I thought I'd also mention we have this little thing here that seems to just be a protector. I think this is probably a heat vent up here, a cooling vent, you know. So take this off, this little screen here, set it aside for later. Put that back before you put the screen on. So let me try to make more progress on this. Okay, I was able to just pry this up without using any heat, and in this case, I can pull this piece right off here that has my connector. So I pulled that out. Now it's just a matter of working through all the pieces of glass to get them off. You might try a heat gun. However, this does have this big battery here, so you don't want to heat it up too much. You don't want it exploding or anything like that. I'm going to take maybe a slower way, but a safer way out and not use a heat gun. Okay, have the next little piece off. Now the next piece. Oh, and you can see this is not very safe at all, and you know, these really are shards of glass that you could easily cut yourself on. So my motto is safety 12th. So try to carefully keep these you know, safe. Don't cut yourself on them, and dispose of them in a way that nobody else is going to cut themselves either. Okay, I have the next part loosened, and that really is pretty sharp. So you got to really be careful with this, but I'm getting this off. Now the next part is going to be a little trickier because it's one solid piece. This is not cracked at all. So what I'm going to do is try and get something very thin. I've seen people use playing card to slide under there or something like that. So I'm going to have to find something to slide into there and see if I can slowly remove the whole thing. Again, you can use a heat gun, but watch out for that battery. And I'm trying this piece of cardboard around here. Well, that looks like pretty slow going. But the good thing is now I can get to it from this side as well. So this is going to take a bit of work to get this off without sending pieces of glass flying everywhere. To save you that gruesome sight, I'm going to pause again. Okay, this seems to be working well. I've worked this in here, and I don't care about this piece of cardboard, of course. So I'm sliding down this way, and that seems to be loosening up the whole thing here. Oh, lovely. Lovely. And let's see if we can maneuver around this corner here. Not really. Yeah. Okay, let me try. We've loosened this whole side now, so I need to get one more side free, and then I can kind of just open it like a door. Let me work on that. Okay, looks like I'll be able to do the other side pretty much the same way. This is sliding down nicely. Turn it around. Slide it up. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now I have both this side and this side loosened up, so I believe I can just lift up on this glass. Yep, there we go. Slowly. And voila. Okay, and this screen came in this nice big styrofoam box, so I think this is probably a really good idea for disposing of the glass as well. So I'm just going to take these pieces, which are a little sticky, put them in there, put those there, and this there, cover that up. I'll take that later and send it into the trash. So now I have a tablet with no touch screen on it, and there's a little bit of dust in here. So I'm going to need to clean all this off really good, because that's where the image is going to show through, and you're not going to want to see little dust particles in there. So let me clean this up first. Be right back. Yeah, it turns out this is actually the speaker for when you use this as a phone. So I'm going to put this back there, cover that up, and it's just at the moment being held there by gravity, so I have to be careful with that. Now this new touch screen has 2 layers of plastic on it, protective plastic. So we're going to remove the one from, and you should try to do this in a low dust environment, of course. Going to remove the inside layer, which is going to go down against the tablet. There we go, and uncover all this adhesive here, all the electronics and the adhesive. Be careful not to touch it and not to spit on it. Let's see. Taking it all off. go. So now, obviously this has to go right back into that slot where, back into this slot here. So let's see if I can show you that. Yep. Okay. And now I think we need to be really careful about how we put this down, because I think we're going to have one shot at it. And I still have that thing there, that little piece covering the speaker. So you've got to be sure not to do that. And it looks like this is not going to be too hard, because you're just going to set it right down exactly in where it was before. So you really can't make a mistake with it. Just going to push that down around there. And I'm going to leave this outer plastic on for now until I got the whole thing put back together. Oh, I see that little the little thing came off of the little guard came off of the hearing, the speaker there. Somewhere down inside of there. Gone forever. So, lesson learned. You can learn from my mistake here. Don't tilt it like I did. I was doing it for the camera, and now it's lost in there. I don't think I want to try to take this screen back off again, because it will kind of ruin the integrity of it. So I'm just going to have to live without that, I guess. Okay, so now we are going to put the little electronic ribbon back in to its place here. This little tab is still up, and we want to make sure not to touch these little strips of wire there. I'm going to just insert it back where the old one was. Let's see. There we go. So that's in about the same distance as the old one. So, and then we just flip this little tab back down on the other side. And that holds it in place. Okay. Now I will put the cover back on. And as you recall, you have to remember to put these little tabs back in here. Oops, there's the SIM card. There we go. And those go on this side. So I'm going to use gravity to hold those in the right position. I'm going to stick this back on there. Yep. Okay, starting to snap back into place here. Yeah, okay. And that's all back to the way it was before. Then I can put my SIM card back in. Don't look at those numbers. Okay. And this little cover Alright, now let's see if it works. Oh, I see something. I see something happening. This is a slow booting device. If you have one, you know that. So let me pause while it's booting. And the moment of truth, I logged in. And of course, I don't want you to see my password, so I already did that. There we go. I'm actually doing things on my tablet. Okay, so it accepted that. Yep, there we go. And I'm doing things, and it seems to be working fine. Yep, there we go. And let's see. Been a while. There we go. The camera's, yep, camera's still working. Everything's great. Well, hope that helps you out. That's how to replace the touch screen. Oh, and of course, I'm going to put a new protective surface on this. But anyway, basically everything's fine. Hope that helps.